Hey guys, good morning on YouTube. Could everyone hear me? Let me know. YouTube changed some settings here in the morning, so coming into some new things. Let me know if you guys could hear me in the YouTube chat. Hey guys, good morning. Can everyone hear me? Yeah, great. Guys, I don't know what's going on with YouTube here, but there's no start or stop stream here anymore on YouTube. So as soon as I click on the one screen here, it goes live. So we're live on YouTube, guys. Welcome. It's Dave Santarelli from BreakingChartAlerts.com. So first things first, we had big earnings yesterday after the bell. Square, NVAX. NVAX got all the way up to almost $200 a share after pulling back. There was some miscommunication about their phase 1 trial, how it's going. I guess there was something leaked about it causing patients to go to the hospital and they're having a reaction with the vaccine. But that was false. And since then, they said it's going great. They're ready to have 2 billion doses ready by January 2021. So that's huge. So Novavax getting a big pop over 20% here. Square also up over 12.5%. A lot of the members in the trade room got into a Square trade. Let's take a look at AMD. AMD's looking good, still climbing. GLD, we have a lot of gold trades. Gold's is rocketing higher, especially with everything going on. Up to almost 192 here on GLD. SLV, we have a silver trade. This is going to be up well over 100% on the open. Probably going to close that out or do something with it today. We'll take a look. I need to be able to get this up for the Trade Challenge account here. Or at least put it on there. We got to do something with that so I can have that up. That's the whole point of that. Okay, so silver, gold, Novavax looking great. We're going to look for some day trades in a bit here, probably around 10-ish. See how the markets react to the news. NVIDIA is at 450 and climbing. Got a lot of nice breakouts here today. Moderna this morning reported earnings. They reported that their revenue increased by 5-fold. 500% increase in their revenue for Moderna. Shares pulled back a little bit since now they're climbing. So we'll keep an eye on Moderna here. I expect that to continue to run. We'll see what's going on with that. Okay, you guys can't see the screen here, I guess, huh? Let me share that for you. We could put that over here. Just don't move that thing here. Square. Alrighty, there we go, guys. Sharing the screen now for you. Alrighty, so quickly again, markets opening in a few seconds here. Novavax, big climb. It was up over 20%. Moderna had great earnings, big beat. Revenue increased by 500%. That looked great. I expect that to continue to climb. Square had a big run here. That's continuing to run. Square's looking good, above 12% for the day, 153. I'd be locking in profits if you're in Square, Avilio, because that's you're probably gonna see a lot of profit takers in the morning selling that Square. So I'd probably lock profits in first thing in the morning. Here we go. Let's see what's going on.
Quantum information science education.
All right, let me put Q's on here. Great. Nicely done, Efren. Didn't even notice that happening. All right, so on this computer here, I'm going to pull up the Trade Challenge account here. Market's looking good on the open.
NVAX can't.
I'm gonna get an extra dragon kit for that. And it's gonna be attached to this office. He can't leave his office. This hall passes with the ruler.
Nice climb still on Square. AMD is pulling back a little bit there. Probably going to be locking in profits on AMD. That was a trade challenge trade or no? All right, let that one log in. Square's still climbing there.
But since it was first brought up as an idea years ago by Bob Iger, we have been talking about direct-to-consumer for Disney. The first Bob. Oh, no, yeah. You think that I left Guggenheim to call this guy Bob.
Wow, silver trades up 60% in the trade challenge account here.
60%.
I'm going to, do I want to lock that in? SLV. Let me put this over here. I'm on the other screen here, the other computer. Those of you that can see my live video on YouTube here, you'll see on the other screen here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do I really do want to lock that in. That's a massive gain. There we go. Just sold SLV at 3.95. Just sold SLV, which is a trade challenge trade, at 3.95. Happy with that trade. That's looking great. Okay, so now the trade challenge trade I just closed out of this computer here. Now we're going back to the main trading account. 57% gain on that. Silver, that's great. The which one? Oh, that one's for the December Expo on the regular account. Oh, that one we're gonna hold on to.
There's a man by the name of Steve Tusa, and we've often talked about him. I call him Ishmael because of the Moby Dick aspects of GE, which he got completely right.
The gold November 20th. Gold's at new all-time highs.
Today he has good things to say about 3M. 3M is the stock to watch. And maybe, David, one time these
I'm gonna sell the gold too.
sat next to each other. The fact that Tusa said good things about 3M and he's hated it since 250, okay?
Yeah.
And it's down to 150. Tells me, Carl, that everybody is trying to find a cyclical that they can get cotton up to. I decided to cotton up to DuPont because they do have auto and they also have housing. But I watch 3M as being the bellwether.
Gold is still on the climb. Wow. Unbelievable.
More healthcare, and China picks back up, which it looks like it's doing. That could be the stock that people are going to pile into. 3M.
Wow, okay. That's the first time I've ever heard you say something like that.
For the first time, Tusa has really. I'm with Tusa.
Okay.
You know, if I'm with stupid, I'm with Tusa.
By the way, speaking of Tucson, makes me think of GE. I don't know if you noticed. They've been selling. Triumph's been selling.
Okay, gold sold 13.45. GLD, the November 20th, 185 call that we have as an official trade. That is sold now at 13.45. What was the percent gain on that?
34.5.
34.5? That was more.
We got in here, 10.
Yeah, well, you know, we're all going to get out of the house soon. And one of these days, they're going to even let me come over there socially didn't need me. I don't know. Maybe even we get Carl, and we know we call that? We call that a show. Actually, it seems like a show. We can do it on stage, man. Yeah, in a stage.
I went to Broadway on Sunday. It was kind of like Planet of the Apes. You know that scene where they snatch deliveries?
We really did it.
Yeah.
Did it. Guys, I was talking about GE, but I want to mention the banks. We haven't talked about them since earnings season. I'm sure you've seen Warren Buffett adding what, $337 million worth to Bank of America.
I know.
Another 13.58 million shares. Average price 24.81 between the end of July and
Clorox. Let's take a look at Clorox. CLX. See, the nice thing about Clorox, it's still climbing, you know?
largest single owner of Bank of America.
The 3-month daily chart here, it still looks great.
Percentage, but
Still looks great.
Termination says, you know what, guys? I think that things, when you're going to have to curtail your dividends and cut your dividends because you're going to need the capital. Are people just thinking that's not going to happen?
I guess they think that it's not potentially going to happen, and I guess you think that it may happen.
Well, I just think if we don't get a deal soon, and Carl, we take away this $600 and we don't put $1,200 in people's pockets. Yeah. And I think that I'm a big believer.
I think that Clorox trade's going to make us a nice profit, to be honest with you. She's really climbing. I'm looking at the chart here. I'm also looking at the option chain. I'm looking at the 6-month daily, you know. I really have that target still. Today's Thursday, though, right?
Wednesday.
Today's Wednesday. Yes, we were talking Thursday tomorrow. Finalizing. That's great then. I think Clorox is going to get up to that 245, 250.
Yes, 400 is the number.
400's the number, or 400, we're talking bid ask 460.
No, 400 was that was.
Diamond's starting to run there. SPY's looking good.
You're not going to suddenly start saying 450.
Dow's up about 220 points. Nasdaq's up 16. S&P's up 15. Just watching the charts, watching the news down below here.
My understanding is that, yes, the small packages. But then again, my Verizon bids was my understanding.
Keep a watch out on the news down there.
Well, I want to make sure people understand.
I don't know
It's
why
not
that
saying
did that.
You know that's going to happen. You were simply saying it could make sense for it to happen, even though it's not going to happen.
People who are more powerful than me within the administration put it makes sense. Right about that.
Gold is still rocketing higher.
No, I understand. And that's good. That's good color to have.
Did you ever get in contact with Jeff?
Stuff like that.
Jeff Walker. Gotta get in hold of him. I messaged him yesterday. I gave him a call too. I think he was on air.
Good old jumping Jeff.
Good old jumper. Right?
I can't believe it. I really can't believe he really has like bars of gold.
Oh yeah, he's big into gold and silver. The last time I talked to him, he's telling me he's gonna buy much more silver now. He said that the one thing that he was reading, he's big into commodities and stuff, and he said the one thing he was reading about silver is that it was gonna triple by the end of the year. You know.
Pretty right on with that.
Did you know Liberty Mutual customizes your car insurance so you won't pay for it?
Given my unique lifestyle, that'd be perfect.
Waiting for Moderna to move there, Vinny. Once we get that vaccine, so just like Novavax, once we hear any type of results from these vaccines, especially with Moderna,
That was crazy what we saw.
we get. I know. I mean, look at Novavax. It's $200 a share now. I remember Karen Decker when it was like $90 Novavax. She's like, I'm gonna hold it to $200 a share, and I'm thinking, oh, I don't think it's ever gonna get there, And then look at this, like a couple of weeks later, it's at $200. It shows you the power of momentum in the markets. Everyone's going after those vaccine companies now. There's Karen Decker. She said, "Hell yeah."
She remembers that.
Yep, she does. How you doing, Karen? Did she have the regular shares or did you have the calls on it? Moderna finally starting to get up to that 10. Super tired, she said. Both. Nice. Good job. Well, Avilio made 315% on that square trade.
That's
Look at
special.
that.
My beard video.
Our CEO's very, and his team work very, very methodical, and they're all about managing.
All right, let's put SPY up. Maybe we could do some day trading. It's Wednesday.
But it's in the works for sure. Yeah.
What I'm probably going to do is wait for that next cycle. If we have breakout momentum here for about 20 minutes, what I might do then is wait for that next BDM, trade some puts on it, or if we get some good news that have the markets break higher here, I'll jump into a day trade with some calls here. For right now, I'm just watching the watch list too here. Facebook's getting back up to that 250.
I'm a lot to handle, I know that, and it's good to have a CFO and a CEO that are very.
JP Morgan's up about 2%. Macy's is up over 4% today. Macy's getting a nice pop. Macy's might be something good to go into. It's not though, because how many people are going to be shopping on? I wonder, like, you guys for Christmas, are you guys going to be spending like the normal amount for Christmas, Or are you guys cutting back on Christmas shopping gifts?
still on track?
Absolutely. I had three term sheets on my desk, three of them to choose from, and unfortunately, they have.
Karen says she was in NVAX at 822, sold at 18. Wow. Let's see, 18 divide that by 8.22.
Discussions with OEMs.
120, 19% gain. Amazing.
I think everyone's going to be very, very excited about that, and we'll tell everyone as soon as we can. This is the one that is hard for me because the Badger is so awesome. It's such big.
There goes gold popping off of that 190, 190 area. Macy's still on a breakout.
Work with new upcoming awesome brands. It's kind of like what everyone wished some Tesla would have done with an OEM we had done. So it's going to be very exciting when that news comes out. Unfortunately, it just they went hands up me,
Yeah, well, I guess so. All right. How about the announcement of a hydrogen station collaboration by the end of the year? That's still on track?
It is, yeah. We've given, they wanted to beat expectations, and it was really painful. Look, I know. Solid, methodical,
Gold's still breaking higher here. I want to see it break that 192.30.
innovative and creative and working on huge deals. And so you really do get the best of all things, but they wanted to manage expectations. They put it out to let people know, look, by the end of the year, my goal is to go blow it out of the water.
Right. Okay. So right. You're out there. You're the cheerleader. You can only cheer so much, but eventually you got to actually put up some real numbers and milestones, Trevor. I mean, we can bring it on all you want. You can talk all you want. It sounds great, but when are we going to start to see?
How was the birthday party yesterday, Dave?
No, look, that's absolutely fair. And I also have to,
Macy's still holding at 10.
too much.
Let's look at a 6-month daily on Macy's. I mean, we could trade it up to $7. I mean, if we wanted to do something, what we could do is buy shares here. Buy those shares, sell some covered calls against the shares. We could easily pick up 1,000 shares here for $6,000. That's a small trade. And what we could do is sell 10 contracts of the calls, creating a covered call there, and that could bring in additional revenue on top of the difference between the shares and Macy's. So that's a strategy if you guys want to do, we could do now, which, like I said, is buying it. Like we would buy 1,000 shares of Macy's, and then we'd sell to open 10 contracts of the 7 strike for either August monthly or September monthly expo. So we'd make the difference between the shares that we got now, $6.37 to $7. So that's what, 63 cents a share. So that's $630 there, plus the money you'd make from selling to open that covered call, which would be, let's take a look at the option chain here.
We need until the end of the year. Like, people need to understand that we're not a revenue generating company yet, but we
So if we sold to open the, let's do September 18th, sold to open the 7 strike, you're making, so you're selling to open 54 cents, 10 contracts, that's another $540. So if you think about this, if you bought that 1,000 shares of Macy's, you're spending $6,000, right? You're spending $6,000, you're going to bring in about $1,200-1,300 by doing this spread here, or buying these shares and then selling to open the covered calls, creating that. It's not a bad trade idea. So $6,000 to make about a $1,300 profit on a small 60-cent move. That's not bad.
Some people aren't depositing. This is like kind of like a commune.
No, we require deposits on every order we have now. So
You will have to disclose it. If it was an SEC, not just the one that's on CBS, but the actual SEC, I think they'd ask you, what is your number? Because we can't make that judgment.
no, I think that's fair, and I think you're going to see.
Clorox is still on the run today. CLX. Let's take a look at Clorox.
Look, the Badger's actually really cool, and I'd love to have you out here. Look, I know you guys have, I think yesterday you kind of came down on watching things and I'm okay with that.
Hey, guys on YouTube there, Quantum, Red Lotus, Honka, Zayman Khan, blah blah. What's blah blah? Steve, right? Gotta remember that. Look at gold still rocketing higher here. I'd love to pick up some more of that.
You know, it's something strange and funny about entrepreneurs that are really that have been around and really pushed hard. Is you find out that efficiency drives you insane, and so you push your teams to be fully efficient all the time. And if you're working on one project, most of your teams actually see the item because they wait for each other. So you can do 4 or 5 projects more efficiently.
Nicola founder on Q2 results.
Realize that you know when it comes to
They thought they were gonna pop after the market, weren't they?
platforms going on at once.
Hey, Trevor, you know, there was some concern just about how many shares you have, given the warrants and everything else. Also, some confusion about value act, because that's Jeff Ubben. That's the first time I met you, of course. It's now inclusive capital. That 20 million shares, he still owns it. It moved from value act over, so I want to clarify that for people. They thought somehow he had sold. But what about all those shares?
Khan says, what about Microsoft? Let's take a look at Microsoft. There goes Clorox. Nice run. Microsoft's having a nice breakout. This is looking nice for a possible day trade here. That's 1020 cross. There's the MACD cross. We zoom out a little bit. We could be looking at that 215, 216 target easily for today. That's a nice opportunity on Microsoft. If you wanted a trade ID on Microsoft, take a look at this one here. I'd be looking at the Microsoft August 21st, which is going to give them time to acquire TikTok. You know, I'd be looking at the...
It wasn't it September 15th?
No, they said they're expecting it within 2 weeks. That's the latest news I heard this morning, was they were expecting within 2 weeks. Now, we could do a vertical spread here if we wanted something for this week, which I wouldn't mind doing something for this week. Buy to open, sell to open.
Doesn't sound like a lot of money in today's age. You know, 5 or 6 years ago, that would have been impressive. You know, it still is. I mean, I'd rather have $1 billion than not have $1 billion, right, Kramer?
Look at that. The 212.50, 215 is going for $1.24, $1.25 to be worth 250. So 2.5, divide that by 1.25. That's a max net gain there of 100%. So that's a really nice setup. So this, you'd have total loss if Microsoft's below 212.50 by August 7th. Or if it's above 215, you're going to make over 100% return. That's not a bad trade idea right here. I like that. You can pick it up for about $1.20. So 2.5, divide that by 1.2. Max gain there of 108.33%. That's a nice little paycheck trade there you could get into for this week. That's not bad at all.
Really well. There's a lot of financing options you can do with, you know, we're definitely going to need more money. But we're going to do it.
SLV is still running. Let's see, what do I want to do with this? Do I want to jump into a little trade on Microsoft here? If it broke that 214.25 right here, would love to jump in.
Dealing with this volatility, particularly when you got somebody like you out there sort of stoking the fires, Trevor.
Let's see.
Our generation's changed a lot, right? But you guys know this first and foremost. It's changed everything, and the Robinhood traders really do. They're in it for the short term. Some are in for the long term, but most of them are very, you know, kind of in and out quickly, right? And it does make it a little more difficult to predict where the stock is going to go. But I do know one thing: they want to communicate with the executive team, and that's what I give them. I give them access to actually on a platform of Twitter and Instagram to actually directly be able to ask them questions and talk to me, and it's refreshing. I mean, they're used to CEOs that sit behind the desk and will never talk, and here I am. I look, even if I get hammered and I do it, I came up with new people. I spoke with Trevor, and I'm gonna do like a weekly or monthly episode of that. But it's you guys get this, but the world's changed now, and I have to deal with the Robinhood investors of my generation, and also the institutional investors. And man, it's very few people are ever IPO
Microsoft coming back down to that 10. Gonna see if it bounces there.
Thank you. It is always refreshing and interesting. Appreciate it. No, Executive Chairman. Appreciate it.
Guys, S&P 3325 this morning. Keep your eye on Disney now up 10%, close to 130. That is a post-COVID high on the heels of its results. We're back in a moment.
Disney, I'm looking for a Microsoft day trade now there, AP. Let's see, Disney. Disney's still on the run. We could do a Disney trade going out. I mean, she might get back up to 140-ish by August 21st. So we could definitely do a Disney trade. I want to do something further out, though, you know? A day trade after that big earnings and that big 10% climb, I think that's risky.
I'm not ready to lose my hair. Not now. But I never thought there was a real solution. Now I use Keeps, the easiest way to keep my hair. And I can get my treatment without leaving the couch. Go to Keeps.com for more information.
June 2021 Expo. You can't beat that. By then we should see Disney back at new highs. There goes Microsoft. I want to make my Microsoft trade for this week quick. I'm going to do a small little paycheck trade on Microsoft.
Paycheck trade. Yeah.
Like I said, this market, you got to be smaller. You know, let's see if we get executed. Let's see. Okay, that was completed. 3.35 minus 2.06. $3.35 minus 2.06. We're in at $1.29 on that Microsoft trade. That's a paycheck trade. 2.5, divide that by 1.29. Max net gain on that is going to be 94% with Microsoft 80 cents higher or more, above $2.15 a share, huh? So it's the 212.50, 215 vertical spread for the August 7th Expo. It's a paycheck trade. We're going to have a target between two. Let's see here at 3 month daily.
It was the same trade I did. So it's just 6 cents more.
Yeah, it went up. So we'll have like 216 as our target on that. 216 target. Stop on that's going to be 212. So easy, tight stop. Paycheck trade. And smaller trade with market conditions. What? How much did I spend for that? Fine. That's a $650 trade to make 600. You know, it's not a big trade, nothing major. But I like the trade there. Microsoft's looking good. More earnings after the bell today. NVAX 184. Gold sets new high. NVIDIA is still climbing. 450, almost 453.
rather than approval and development. Jim, you got Beyond Meat tonight.
Beyond Meat,
Beyond Meat. Ethan Brown. Oh, they're going to be on tonight. Beyond Meat on Mad Money with Kramer. Wonder if Vincenzo could get that out there. Vincenzo, do you get CNBC out there in Canada?
Jim, we'll see at 6. We got some data to get to. Mad Money, of course, 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Walker is walking the street.
He does. SLV still climbing higher. Vinny, are you in the SLV trade? Did you sell SLV or GLD? I got in that Microsoft trade at $1.29.
They continue what they've been doing. Interest rates on the soft side, but they have bounced just a bit off the low yields. Aaron, back to you. All right, great. Thanks. We're joined this morning, of course, by David Faber. Leslie Pinker's with us before the hour.
AMD is still climbing here.
Its first quarterly loss since 2001, moving higher, almost 10% this morning after the bell. As analysts take note of the quarter, the cost discipline, the sun.
Yeah, he usually does, Vincenzo. We could look at Beyond for a date. So what I usually like to do, whoever's on Kramer at night, at 6 p.m., if it's a big company, something that's followed by millennials that they follow closely, usually that stock pops big. So if there's something like Beyond, I'll look towards the end of the day, see if she's running up. If she is, I'll buy it and then sell it overnight there, because what he talks about with that CEO on CNBC tonight on Mad Money, they usually get a pop because he's there to promote them, He's a promoter. AMD trade, wow. When did I make a JP Morgan August 7th trade? Do you remember that? I'm looking at that and they count it's almost green. I'm like, I don't even remember getting that.
That was an official trade.
It wasn't?
Well, I think that was a trade on the banks, a day trade prior to them talking.
Yeah. Etsy, ETSY. Etsy has earnings after the bell, right? What'd you tell me about Etsy this morning? Earnings after the bell? Look at that stock rocketing higher. Unbelievable. Dottie said JPM was on the 29th. We made it. Another day like today, it's going to be in the green. Nice profits. ISM non-manufacturing PMI for July 58.1 versus 55 estimate. Prior 57.1. That was still where it was before, around 240, 245. NASDAQ's only up about 39. S&P's up 18.
Do you agree with that, and when will it not matter?
I don't agree with that. I mean, I think there's plenty of stocks we can all buy. Like Disney's down 20% year to date, even though it's up over 30% from its
Etsy's on fire.
stocks that benefit from COVID.
That's incredible. Anyone getting into that? I'm not a fan of. Did you ever buy anything from Etsy? That's yeah, it's crafts, right? Arts and crafts. Amy said she's in it. Vincenzo said he jumped in this morning. Wow, nice job. Vincenzo, what are you up on that trade?
Regardless of how long it lasts.
Andy said he's in it. Wow, a lot of people are in Etsy.
So I don't understand why we have to be arguing
Hey,
about
Who
Disney.
gave them the Etsy trade idea?
they love their earnings.
They love earnings trades. They do. That looks like that might pop, really big. That might get up to that 150 area on Etsy.
Yeah, I think part of that, I would say is
Amy's up 20% on hers already.
Oh
a
wow.
lot of it's sports costs, but those aren't cost savings. So
Andy's been following Etsy for weeks. Vincenzo's up 18%.
media networks really over-deliver the profit.
That's all you're up is 8. Oh, well, they have it's earnings. So being up 18-20% pre-earnings is pretty big for that week's expo when you got earnings. So
Those are cost deferrals to
it's a big pop.
So,
Now, what you guys could do. So, guys, I'm going to teach you something. Those of you that got into Etsy calls, you want me to show you something how you could create a no-risk earnings trade right now, which you can only make money from. I could show them a strategy here that would blow their mind. Absolutely blow their mind. Okay, so someone needs to share with me a trade you got on Etsy, because I want to do a real-time example. Show you real numbers here. So someone show me the trade, and I will show you what you could do.
big screen movies could be seen on even in a drive-in context. It would get people to remember how special moviegoing is as an experience while they await cinemas reopening. I actually think it'd be good for consumers, certainly good for Walmart if they're charging. And I think it's a good
Natty's starting to take off. NVIDIA 455. It's nearing.
There could be a weaker pipeline for content for Disney. Obviously, amid all the shutdowns and so forth, they have, stalled, done limited types of production, halted it altogether.
Okay, so Amy's in the 814 135 call for $7, right? So I'll show you guys this. So now on here, she got this trade right here, the 135 call. She paid $7 for it. It's currently at 816. Okay, so she paid $7 for the 135 call. Now, as Etsy continues to climb, if that gets back up to this candle here, 135.10, what you can do is sell to open the 140 for more than $7. So if you sold to open the 140 call for $8, and you bought the 135 for $7, you're guaranteed at least $100 per contract. Guaranteed. You cannot lose anything on that. So you're guaranteed $100 a contract, even if the stock goes to zero. Now here's the thing. You're also going to make the difference between 135 and 140. So if you have a credit from creating that spread, you now have the difference. So 135 to 140 is $5. $5 plus that $1 credit from creating that spread there. So you're making $6 on that spread there if she's above 140 by August 14th. If she's at $90 a share, you still make $100 per contract. So that's a beautiful strategy right here, is buying those calls for earnings, and as the stock has that run higher, you turn that call into a spread here that has zero risk. In fact, you can only make money on a trade like that if it continues to climb. Just like AMD, if you got this back here, a call, if you got an AMD call for $85 back here, and now she's at 86, and now you sell to open that 90 for more than what you paid for that 83, you're left with a net credit there. So that's something I love to do on earnings trades. Definitely a strategy I could teach you guys how to utilize and use efficiently through earnings.
Experience the adventure of a bigger world in a highly capable Lexus SUV.
Correct, Algo.
Opportunity salesman.
Lease the 2020 RX 350 for $419 a month for 36 months.
Experience amazing with your Lexus.
I'm not worried about Moderna. I'm really not. She's down 5%. She's at 74. Not worried about Moderna. That has big moves. It's a vaccine company. The retail misery story likely continued in Q2 earnings ahead. What did we lock in so far today? Look at AMD running $86 now.
We got gold and silver, both for 4.
I think what I'm going to do, so the AMD September 18th trade that we have for the September 18th, what strike do we have there? We have the 80 strike call for AMD. We paid $5.45 for it. So I'm thinking it's at $10.10 now. I'm almost up 100% on that. So if I reach 100% on that, I'm going to be at probably around $1,500. I'll lock that in, take those profits, and then I'll utilize those profits for a new trade on AMD. And it's so important that I tell them that, and we reiterate that. When you have profits, especially in a volatile market, the key is to take those profits, lock them in, utilize those profits for those next trades. That way you're continuing to build your account and you're not riding on your initial capital every time. You can't do that.
Like the gold trade, we're still bullish on gold.
We're still very bullish on gold, and we're going to make another trade on gold. Silver, I'm still holding silver here in this account. That's up huge.
Microsoft and ByteDance just beginning to have conversations about the value of the asset, according to people familiar with negotiations. They may have bracketed sort of broadly speaking values here, but it doesn't mean they're anywhere near deciding on what
Stocks move throughout the day, so unless I'm in a day trade, not worried about swing trades.
is willing to accept. Of course, when you're ByteDance dealing with what appears to be only one potential bidder for your asset, you're not in a great position to negotiate very hard, are you?
No, Vinny, we had two trades on silver. One of them was the trade challenge account, growing a small account with silver and gold going into election, which is a nice cyclical trend every 4 years. That happens like clockwork. So we put that into the trade challenge account, and now we're holding on to the silver December 31st in the main trading account. So we had two trades on silver. I closed the one out in the trade challenge account because obviously the most important thing with that is growing a small account. So we got to lock in profits. Now the main account here for the December Expo, I still think silver is going to continue to climb, but I didn't want to risk silver having that big 10% climb in 2 days here like it did yesterday. It was up 7%, and this morning up 3%. So it climbed 10% in 2 days. Why would I want to risk a pullback there and a retracement when I'm up almost 100% on a trade? I'd rather lock that in, and then when we do have that retracement and see that bounce off support, we'll re-enter into another trade like that.
Two Microsoft servers, or what would be TikTok servers here in the United States, and move it out.
I still need to get my back massage.
No relationship whatsoever with China at all.
These chairs suck when you're sitting in them for 13 hours a day, don't they? I thought it would be alleviated with that $600 chair,
Yeah.
but obviously that,
Help your back a
that,
little bit.
no, that didn't help shit. That was a horrible chair. What was it, a Serta chair? They should go back to making beds. I'm not happy with that chair, especially for what I paid for it.
So they hope to actually get to a deal perhaps as soon as the next 2 to 3 weeks, where they very strong negotiating leverage, given it's either us or you get shut down.
They have the leverage, but as you
We're up almost 100% on the silver December 31st and almost up 100% on the AMD in the main account here. So once that happens, we'll be locking those in.
be able to get it done in 3 weeks. I mean, sounds like a lot of people are
Moderna's looking like it's consolidated. I mean, doesn't that look amazing right there?
joins us with a first on CNBC.
I wish this was a touch screen so I could go like this with my... Where is it?
$410 million SPAC or blank check. Good morning, Greg. Thanks for being with us.
You know, if I had this here and I was just able to go like this on the chart right in front of me and then they could see it.
Proved easier to raise money for a SPAC than putting it to work. What is your timeline to
Forward block trades are being made.
that you'll be able to do so in that $1 to $3 billion enterprise value range in the TMT space?
I think Ford's a good setup, especially with that new Bronco they have coming out and everything. Ford back up to $7. I gotta do a Ford trade, but I'd probably go out a little bit longer.
So we think that there's a lot of rocket ships out there that are going to beat the rocket fuel that is back and provide.
And what's your timeline for that?
Well, I hope to execute on it very quickly. I hope that we'll have something in the bag in the not too distant future.
Explain the dynamics to us a little bit. We know that there's been a huge surge in popularity.
Okay, so here, we gotta send this trade out. This is a longer term trade.
The shareholders have to approve the deal. Where does the money go if you don't win a company?
Trade ID on Ford, a long term trade for January 21st, 2022 Expo. Picking up the, honestly, you could do the 10 strike on this. It's only 68 cents. But I like the 7 strike. It's going for $1.65. So $1.65 and $1.65 is how much? $2.30, right?
$1.65 and $1.65.
$3.30, right?
$3.30.
So $3.30 plus 7. So that means at $10.30 you have a 100% gain. Whereas if you want, you could pick up the 10 strike call on Ford for 68 cents. And then you have that double at, what is it? 11 something there, you know. 11.30. Moderna is starting to climb off the bottom there. If you guys could see Moderna right here. This is where I'm looking at Moderna on my chart. I'm watching that consolidation there. So when I'm sitting at the desk here, I'm always looking. You see how I have all the channels on my screens here. If you guys are looking at the YouTube view here, you know I have the camera set up in back of me. But if you could see, I have everything on my chart organized and set up in their channels, cycles, and phases. And I'm watching. I'm putting on resistance, support areas, and consolidation areas. There goes Moderna, guys. Moderna is breaking out. The MACD's cross. You got that first candle now above that 1020 SMA on a today 1 minute chart.
So you're saying the $10 call for 68 cents?
So you could pick that up for 68 cents for Ford. I'd have a my target on Ford would be probably around, I'd say $12 on Ford. My stop on Ford would be a candle below,
A trailing stop there.
a trailing stop, candle below the 50. And then once you get to 6 months before Expo, then my stop would be the 20. So you're changing your stops there also, because this is a 2-year trade, you know? So what you're looking for is, you know, I'd have probably $6 stop within the first, 6 months. $6 stop. Then we're going to use the 50 SMA as a trailing stop. And then when we only have 6 months until Expo left, we use the 20 as a trailing stop. Look at Moderna go. There comes the 1020 SMA. Now what I want to see Moderna do is break that 74.75 right here. If we could break that 74.75, this is going to be some resistance from earlier. and it's also going to be that 50 SMA. So I want to see that candle above 74.25 on Moderna for a possible day trade.
So for those companies, this is the perfect size SPAC. You can also have
It's gonna adjust it. So if you have the, let's say, 400 strike, now you have the 100 strike for X amount. So if you paid $10 for it, divide it by 4, that's your price. You divide everything by 4, basically, Vinny.
causes dilution. So this is the perfect size. It's kind of the Goldilocks zone for the A-plus companies.
Not a problem.
Hey, Vivek, while we have you, I hope you won't mind at least a couple questions on sports. It does appear, I mean, Silver had to make some very bold calls in creating that bubble. And it does
Still not doing much. Nasdaq's up 29 points. Dow's up 270. You know, Nasdaq's not doing much, and Natty's what we've been trading. S&P's only up about 18. So as you see, when you're watching the markets here, you know, and you see not much going on, you know, the most important thing is sitting back, relaxing. If you see a good longer-term setup, chase after those. If you're not seeing any good day trade setups, just wait. We might have a good day trade set up here on Moderna. Watching for that.
other leagues, and I wonder, I mean, others have tried different logistical models that look a little more wobbly. Is it too late to change those?
Well, I think that
Now, also, on that alert there, Efren, I'd like you to put the delta on that. It's got a delta of, on that 10 strike, 0.353. Is that the one you're sending out, the 10? So that's what you could be looking for. A $2 climb, so it's at $7 now. We get a $2 climb there, it's going to be doubling. More than doubling.
Vivek, it's David Faber. It seems these days everybody's got a SPAC and a dream. It's funny talking about sports franchises because Billy Beane and Jerry Cardinale have a SPAC that may go out and try to buy at least something having to do with data and sports teams. So I'll combine the two here. Do you think there are going to be owners, given the lack of liquidity and some of the pressures, not in the NBA as much, but some other sports, that are going to be looking for liquidity and might even find a SPAC an interesting way to go?
yes, absolutely. I think some of the European soccer clubs, perhaps even teams in the major leagues over here, you get lots of liquidity.
Who the heck's this guy? He's the Kings owner. Oh, he's a hedge fund manager. Okay. I'm like, who is that guy that owns the Sacramento Kings? And then I gave his profile. It says, oh, hedge fund manager. Seems like all these sports owners are you know, hedge fund traders, owners.
Yeah.
Sports here. I just wonder, would you have participated? Would you let your team and your players participate in a league that was not in a bubble? And so I guess I'm asking, is it irresponsible for other leagues to have their team?
Jack Dottie, once you got a hedge fund, you are clear for big money. So Andy, T-Doc was actually, they purchased another company,
Bongo.
Navongo.
That's the bar that we set, that you should feel safer inside than you would in your own home.
Let's see. There goes Moderna taking off. Keep an eye on Moderna. Let's see, TDOC. Wow, Teladoc pulled all the way down to $200 a share.
Oh.
Wow.
Today we'll certainly be watching Boeing, and we'll talk to you again soon, I hope.
Thank God we sold our T-Doc trade, right?
We'll get market flash now on cruise lines. Simo Modi has that for us. Simo.
David, some news here. Cruise lines voluntarily suspending cruising and sailing again, not returning.
Breaking news. Again, suspension of cruise lines. I haven't been hearing them. You're not on, are you?
Already delayed sailings twice. First, they were supposed to start on August 1st, and then September 15th, and now they're delaying it to October 31st, which means these cruise lines will continue to burn a lot of cash over the next coming months, and will continue to operate in this no revenue environment. We're looking at the cruise lines, which were actually up by around 4 to 5% on the day, now trading at special lows. And of course, the year-to-date story, David, really tells a story when you look at where these cruise lines are trading.
Moderna is still climbing, holding that 10. First candle above the 10, 20, 50 SMA. Looking good there.
ETF Spotlight is sponsored by Invesco QQQ. Invesco Distributors Inc.
Microsoft $1.48 away from max net gains. She's starting to run there, $1.40 away. Nice climb.
So I'm gonna hold on promoting you this quarter. Cool?
Drop the taco. Get in the car. Does this Centra feel like a compromise to you? Wait, what? Compromise. Watch this. We're automatic brake. So if this Nissan Sentra is a compromise to you, you're right. Got it, girl. The all-new
You have a life insurance policy you no longer need. Now you can sell your policy, even a term policy, for an immediate cash payment. Call Coventry Direct to learn more.
We thought we had planned carefully for our retirement.
But we quickly realized we needed a way to supplement our income.
Our friends sold their policy to help pay their medical bills. That got me thinking. Maybe selling our policy could help with our retirement.
I was skeptical, so I did some research and called Coventry Direct. They explain life insurance is a valuable asset that can be sold.
We learned we could sell all of our policy or
Wow, New York City, effective today. City's quarantining checkpoints to enter the city. To enter New York City, you're going to have to be quarantined. Wow.
Oh, they're finally doing it?
Yep.
Don't cancel or let your
That's
policy
kept threatening.
without finding out what it's
That's major news.
to find out if your policy qualifies.
They're really going to enforce that?
47800. Coventry Direct.
Gold ends above $2,000 $2,000 a share. Above $2,000 an ounce for the first time in U.S. history.
Extra sanitizing to get the good times going again.
Gold
We're
is gold.
finally back and can't wait until you are too. Buy now and get 2 days free at the parks. Restrictions apply.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm Sue Pereira. Here's your CNBC News update at this hour. Across the eastern seaboard, at least 6 people have died and more than 3 million remain without power in the wake of recent east. That's according to the website poweroutage.us. New Jersey remains the hardest hit state with nearly 1 million power customers.
Jersey was hard hit by the
Death toll from the pandemic has risen above 700,000. The U.S. has the
by the
most
hurricane.
cases of deaths with nearly 157,000.
Isaias.
Brazil has the second highest number of fatalities.
Virus death toll just broke 700,000 deaths. Look at those graves. I mean, they can't even have a place for all these dead bodies. That's crazy.
School students will be taking all of their classes online. Mayor Lori Lightfoot says the city hopes to move to a mix of in-class.
I think that's a good thing, having learning, in person, and then just having like these little labs where people could go in for math, science, and other labs like maybe once a week for a couple hours. That way, it's not crowded with schools out, and that's gonna save so much money.
Like different shifts, you mean?
Not shifts, but like, okay, so 90% of your learning is done online, and then 10% is done in, you don't need a huge school for that, so we could sell the schools, bring in the money from selling the schools, cut budget, cut expenses. Think about that. We really could totally, redo the whole education system in the United States, which needs a major overhaul now, And if we did that right, we could say, okay, here's your classes online, and then you have your labs and stuff in person. And then obviously the students that want to give that extra, like I was always a type of student, I love going in and looking at the microscopes. Mrs. Persachik was my teacher as an AP bio. And I'd used to come in like 7 a.m. and I'd go upstairs and I'd get the stains, the gram stains, and I'd be looking under the microscope, But, like if the students wanted to do that, let them do that. But the ones that aren't into like the core, math, science, the STEM stocks, let them stay at home and learn from home, or go to a VOTEC.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a need for the type of education system we have now. I think it's a big, big waste.
Overcrowded.
Overcrowded. You have so many teachers. Wow, think about how you could really revolutionize the whole education experience now.
Mm-hmm.
This virus is going to change things for the long term. There's no doubt about that.
That saves you money by finding the best deal. Gabby saves users over $800 a year on average. Go to Gabby.com and stop overpaying for car insurance.
Hi, I'm Yaya, founder of Truebill. These are crazy times, but keeping track of your money has never been more important. With Truebill, you can easily cancel subscriptions, lower bills, and create smart spending habits. Download Truebill today.
How do I rewind this? Can I rewind this quick?
Oh,
Jesus
I thought you
Christ!
were licking.
Holy shit! You threw a fucking remote at me.
You were licking this way.
I'm looking for the remote, and all of a sudden I see it coming towards my head. Damn. Okay, let's see.
The reflexes are pretty fast.
The surge in COVID-19 deaths.
Let's see here.
Jack Dottie said you dodged a shoe like George Bush.
Did they catch it on camera? Did they see it coming? They probably had a great view.
Available from NVAX. Or visit our website where you will see all of our silver products available for investors like you, along with live up-to-the-minute prices. Call right now and discover how simple and convenient have your pure, high-quality silver American Eagles delivered to you or stored for you in an independent third-party vault. Call, learn, and invest with NVAX, one of America's trusted.
My son needs this one. It costs too much. I help manage. 80% on your prescriptions. I have no idea. Good RX. Stop paying too much for your prescriptions.
Hey, I'm Nick. We created Gabby because most people overpay for car insurance. Gabby is a free. Nick, we created Gabby because most people overpay for car insurance. Gabby is a free tool that saves you money by finding the best deal. Gabby saves users over $800 a year on average. Go to Gabby.com and stop overpaying for car insurance.
Hi, I'm Yaya, founder of Truebill. These are crazy times, and keeping track of your money has never been more important. With Truebill, you can easily cancel subscriptions, lower bills, and create smart spending habits. Download Truebill today.
NVAX has downgrading Apple.
Just like that.
I like that.
Still raising its price by
I like the
$50 to $470. Bank of America's Wamsi Mohan joins us now to explain the call. Wamsi, why did you downgrade to a new phone?
Yeah, sure thing. Good morning. Thanks for having me. Let's put some context around this, right? So we grapple with the question of why now, back when we upgraded the stock at $170 back in March of 2019. And that was a time when sentiment was very negative. Valuation was getting a 10x gash. There was a China tariff issues, and people felt like that was going to be the end of the run that Apple had had. Now as we look at this.
Look at what I just sent in the Team BCA group chat there. Look at that video they did. That's great, isn't it?
That should be on CNBC.
I know. That's amazing. Wow.
That is pretty
That's amazing. Wow.
I'm curious because last week after Apple's earnings, you reiterated your buy and you
What the heck did ATVI do? Some members got in that. I wonder what Avilio did with that. Nothing. I still got time. You have this week's expo? You guys trade so much. Vincenzo Roku puts look good now, as the stock is nearing the highs. And that pullback, yeah, absolutely. For a day trade, I'd day trade it down to about 164 if I was jumping in. She looks like she's going to pull back quite a bit. Let's see, Jack Dottie. I'm about to do a put on AMD. Wow, he's got some nuts there picking up puts on AMD, huh?
Day trade, maybe?
Oh, he said he's not going to do it. Unless he's doing a day trade. I'd be okay with a day trade. It's not bad. You got a nice doji there. You might see a retracement back down to about 80. I swear that streaming service listens to me, because whenever I talk about something, like I was talking about sector rotation the other day, now they're deeply talking about sector rotation on here, you know?
They are.
They do. Speaking of which, we got to call back that Sean and get, they want to put us on the platform.
Oh, that's your bet.
Yeah. Gotta look at that. That's what I was talking about yesterday. Remember Vine?
Oh, yeah.
And you thought I was crazy.
No. But Vine was old school. Is it coming back out?
Yeah, they're doing an IPO.
Really?
Yeah. Last night I invited Ephraim over for dinner, and we were talking. I don't even know what that was that we were talking about.
TikTok and different.
Oh yeah, about TikTok and stuff, and I was talking about Vine, and they both laughed at me. I'm like, what are you laughing about? And now on CNBC, and they're talking about the Vine IPO.
Because it was old. Vine was the original before Instagram took over.
Well, they always have to be innovating. They're starting to innovate now. Now they could come back.
And I think you can consider Vine as the original TikTok.
I don't even know what Vine was. I know it was some type of video thing.
Video, that's it. Just video. It's the first time you actually can post videos.
Oh, yeah.
And then Facebook bars.
But did they do like editing stuff on it or no?
Not as
Like,
much.
do you see how amazing that TikTok? Like, you could do crazy things on there.
She knows how to edit.
Yo, my daughter better stop dancing like that, or she's gonna be banned.
Just like the Chinese.
That's all she's doing is dancing on TikTok. I don't like that. As a father, Virginia doesn't seem to care about that, but for me, I don't know. That's just the way I was raised. Let's see here. Facebook. Glad I didn't chase anything this morning for a day trade. We're about an hour and 10 minutes into the day. Let's look at the trade challenge account. Maybe we could find another day trade for the trade challenge account. In the meantime, the trade challenge account's doing phenomenal. I really want to get some more trades up. That MGI screwed me, and Clorox for the 245 unless Clorox starts taking off there.
So we set out to create a better home
Yeah, those two expire this week.
of the most successful
Yeah.
real estate agents in America. They'll sell your home.
MGI expires August 21st.
We say $12,000 in commission.
They were so stress-free, the whole process was amazing, and I would definitely recommend them.
We are not a discount broker.
Should I close out MGI
That'll give you the best results.
and Clorox? Or let's see, Clorox here. Let me take a look.
Bringing pretty much.
Two companies
Where's
is
that?
the next step.
230, 657. You know, she broke that 240. Like she got up to that 240 resistance. If she broke that 240, I'd hold on to it.
Destination for consumers, no matter what they're looking for in healthcare.
It's a large deal from this morning, of course, largely made up of stock. There was an $11.33 cash component here. I'm talking about, of course, Teladoc buying Livongo. You can see
Microsoft nearing that 214 again.
Teladoc shares down significantly, of course, and that overall impacting the value of the overall deal because it was 0.5920 shares of Teladoc plus that 11.33 I mentioned. Now, both these stocks have been rocket ships, particularly Livongo, which went public only a little more than a year
Avilio just closed MGI.
The pandemic hit, its stock has just gone up parabolically. Teladoc also, of course, benefiting enormously. Now they will get together. They're talking about as much or more than $500 million in revenue synergies.
Let's see. Nicholas Mulhern says, "What's the buy point for Moderna
With us this morning, but it did
for
look
calls?"
obviously,
At the money there, if you're still with us, Nicholas.
neither of their shareholder bases has anything to complain about right now, given the respective moves in both.
Something's going on with YouTube. It's saying that there's not enough thing there to maintain a smooth stream. So I'm going to get off of that. There's so many playbacks, so there's obviously a major problem. John says T-Doc's running back up. Are you in it, John? She just ran up 5% in a few minutes, 20 minutes. Yeah, they're insanely expensive. Facebook's running back up again. See Microsoft. Not doing too much yet. T-Doc. AMD.
Teladoc, and you mentioned, well, it's all pressure. Short big wire stock, of course, to set it up. So that's a typical answer as well. Well, we're going to see some pressure from risk arbitrageurs. That's not really always the case, although there is some of that.
Alright, I gotta shut off that thing on YouTube. It's giving errors there. So guys, on YouTube, I'm gonna shut that off now. I'll see you guys. If you guys are interested in joining, you guys could easily just go to Breaking Chart.